Brethren, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. I have some breaking news, and this one is absolutely very, very good news. We have finally cleared the air on Thomas Partey. Thank the heavens. Absolute sins there from Chris Whitley, confirming Thomas Partey has traveled to Germany for Arsenal's preseason tour. He is currently with the squad. Now, listen, lads, there has been a lot going on around this saga of Thomas Partey, as reported yesterday by the Times, by the Telegraph, and a couple of other sources. There is a Premier League player in his late 90s that was arrested by the police in North London on suspicion of some aggravated charges that I really don't want to say on the channel because it could affect my it could affect my community guidelines and everything like that. So a couple of Muppets on Twitter, a couple of mugs, a couple of pricks, a couple of prats on that silly platform, Twitter. How I hate it. How I hate people on that absolutely sick platform came out and said this was Thomas Partey. Now, listen, like I reported yesterday, there was nothing to point to Partey. The description of the police yesterday said a player, international, in his late 20s, scheduled to play to represent his country in the World Cup in November, had been arrested in North London. That could be anybody. That could be anyone, right? And the fact that people came out pointing to Thomas Partey is absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely hilarious. But I'm going to tell you the reason why they were pointing to Thomas Partey. Do you know why? He is Arsenal's best player, and he is Arsenal's most important piece in that midfield puzzle. And they know, because when you go back to last season and look at all the games we played with Thomas Partey at his best, there is no midfield that came close to ours. Despite the fact that we had Xhaka, we had players like Martin Odegaard who were just trying to fit into the side, there was no midfield, including Liverpool's and Manchester City's. There was no midfield that came close to Arsenal's. No midfield. Partey absolutely, rattled them. And that is the word. He absolutely rattled them. Now, when they got the opportunity, oh my God, shame upon them. Because, look, this is huge. And this was absolutely serious. You don't just wake up in the morning and you place charges on a person that you're not even sure about. These are great charges. These are charges that could lead to a player's career to end. We've seen it with Mason Greenwood. We are not really sure if Greenwood is gonna come back in football. Even when the charges go away, the picture, the depiction, the people have on you, your image is not very, very clear. Now, I want to first and foremost, I want to thank Chris Whitley for coming out and breaking this story, because a couple of I'm not gonna talk about Mark Goldbridge in a second, right? But a couple of people on Twitter have been using the silence, the lack of information we have at the moment, to point out the fact that Partey is the guilty party. There was no evidence here. There's so many players in North London, in their late 20s. There's so many players, for starters, for Christ's sake. There's so many players in their late 20s. There's so many players that are international, and there's so many players that are going to play in the World Cup in November and live in North London. And moreover, Thomas Partey doesn't live in Barnet. Honestly. It was sick. It is absolutely sick. And I just hate that platform. I just hate all the people on that sick platform, Twitter, because they're absolutely disgusting and they're sick. They're absolutely sick. Look, I use the platform, but I'm telling you, those Muppets on that platform, they're disgusting. They're absolutely disgusting. Now, one of the things that really amazed me is what Mark Goldbridge put out, and I love Mark, and I rate him a lot. He's one of my best YouTubers and fans when it comes to fan channels and creating content. But he put out a tweet, and he said maybe now Yuri Tillemans will speed up then. Maybe now the Yuri Tillemans deal will speed up then. And what he was trying to insinuate there, oh my God, I don't want to dive into how people reacted to that, because again, like I said, the platform is already sick, right? It's a virus. It's like a virus that infected people, using Twitter. No matter they're called twips, because they're just sick. It's like a virus. But Mark Goldbridge, a person with that kind of following, a person with that kind of audience, to come out and say, in that situation, and look, in his defense, it could be any reason as to why he put that out. Probably it was because United were closing in on the Lisandro Martinez deal. But in that particular situation, we know he was talking about the Thomas Partey situation, the Thomas Partey incident. And then he said, maybe the Yuri Tillemans deal will speed up then. Literally, he's trying to say Partey is no longer going to be an Arsenal player. And look, you're going to sign Tillemans, but Partey is not going to be your player again. These guys are scared. These guys are afraid of what Arsenal is becoming. And that's what you see, that they want to use any possible means to, debunk our rebuild, debunk our success, and debunk whatever is happening and whatever kind of work is happening at Arsenal at the moment. It's shameful. It is absolutely shameful. And the way football has become here, the way football is going, it's going off the pitch. It is going off ability of players to, you don't talk to me because you have a player who was charged with such and such, a charge, so you're not even worthy. That is where football is going. And the beautiful game shouldn't go there, in my opinion. Just let's keep it to football. 11 against 11, 25-man squad versus 25-man squad. That is where football should be. I disagree with anyone who comes out and brings in the personal lives of players into the football game. It should not happen. Whether it's our own players being criticized for playing poorly, whether it's the rivals players that we're scared of. Listen, we've seen this Manchester City side. They've had Benjamin Mendy and whatever happened with Mendy, but that really doesn't mean anything. That is not a reason to celebrate. It's not a reason to celebrate. It is bizarre. It is 100% inhuman that a person, whoever does that and whoever did that we celebrate that a player or a person has done that, is absolutely sick. It's absolutely sick. And I implore you lads, people on YouTube, don't become that sick. Do not contract the virus. Just don't. I just wonder how people on Twitter live. I'm buzzing. I'm celebrating because it's not my player, and I'm happy because it's not my player. But I'm very, very happy because it's not my player, and they were trying to intoxicate him. They're trying to intoxicate his image, right? And just imagine, even if these suspicions went away and it was Partey and they went away, they would never accept the fact that it went away. They would never accept the fact that it went away. They would never accept that. They would always keep on saying, oh, Thomas Partey, 90% ball passing accuracy, and then they would depict him as I don't want, like I said, I don't want to pronounce those words in my mouth on this video, and I will not. So, lads, first and foremost, it is not Thomas Partey or the pricks or the scared, or the scared prats in their houses now, on their phones, deleting every kind of tweet they were saying. Oh, it's Thomas Partey. Oh, it's Thomas Partey. Yes, Partey didn't train. I think yesterday, Partey didn't train. And the reason is no player that played in the Ipswich game trained. That is the reason, right? That is the reason. Now, whoever has been trying to deceive us that Thomas Partey trained, Partey did not train with the team, and no player that featured in the Ipswich game trained. The player is in Germany, traveled with the squad in Germany, and preparing for our preseason. That is what we need to know. And that's why I told you, do not panic. I will get you the information when the time is right. And here we are. The information finally has arrived. Thomas Partey is clear, safe with the squad, not arrested. All the pricks, all the prats that are they're scared of Arsenal. You know what? This is what is interesting with football fans. When your team is very is doing poorly, they want to give you the sympathy vote, and they want to troll you, right? That is football. They want to troll you. But the moment your team comes up, the moment you start working towards success, you become the bad guys. They're spending a lot of money. They're destroying football. They're doing this and that. But why don't your club do it? United, you're bigger than us. And these are United fans, honestly. These are United Tottenham fans. United is historically a great club than us, and they're richer than us. Why don't they spend the money? Well, they should be competing with Manchester City and Liverpool. They shouldn't be competing with us. You don't find Manchester City trolling Arsenal and Liverpool. You find Man United and Tottenham. And for Tottenham, I pity them, because even with Antonio Conte, they could win something. You never know. They could even win the UEFA Champions League, because Antonio Conte is that good when it comes to winning things. But they're never going to be bigger than Arsenal. That's the problem. They will never be bigger than Arsenal. With this kind of rebuild, I'm telling you, with this kind of rebuild, by the time these players have exhausted their nerve, Arsenal will have the UEFA Champions League, and we will have won the Premier League once again. So Spurs, they're never going to be bigger than Arsenal. They should just accept that. And, making the war to go to players, attacking individual players, attacking our players now, depicting them as what? As criminals. Is that the best they can do? Is that the best kind of competition they can do? The competition should be healthy in football. I don't care if we went into an 11 against 11, and 5 of our players broke their legs or were broken. That is part of football. But getting legal issues and mixing them with football, trying to paint the other opponent as this and that is absolutely cowardice. That is absolute cowardice. That is so cowardly. You don't need to do that. Arsenal have suffered for the last 25 years, and we are still suffering, by the way, because we're not even in the UEFA Champions League. So we've suffered, and we are still suffering. But one thing I've loved about Arsenal fans is the kind of sense they have used when it comes to these battles, because it hurts to see United, Spurs, and other clubs qualifying for the UEFA Champions League, and you're not, right? And the fact that they've seen Arsenal coming up and they've started attacking us in those ways, it's smart. Guys, the rebuild is coming. We might have a very, very huge update when it comes to Arsenal in the next 5 years. We might see Arsenal win every trophy just like Liverpool. We are on the right track now, and Thomas Partey is safe. Partey is safe. Partey is safe. I'll say that a million times. So lads, nothing to be scared about. I'm happy, and I know you're happy as well.